All right, guys, welcome to the Genesee County Compassion Club show. Thank you for joining us, humoring us, and putting up with us all at the same time. John, you are the man, and we do appreciate everything that you do here at Flint Talk Radio, because without you, this place would not exist, and that is a fact, folks.
Woo!
FlintTalkRadio.com. Guys, I know you love the Genesee County Compassion Club show, and we love you for loving it. But I would encourage you to please check out the other programs on FlintTalkRadio.com, which you can on our viewer, Ustream.tv. Obviously, you can go to FlintTalkRadio.com website and view all the past videos.
And YouTube
shows. And what was that, John?
And YouTube, too.
YouTube. That's right.
Yeah. They got the Flaming Pit, which is not a barbecue show. There's a lot of cool shows on there. The Second Amendment show.
Yeah, I mean...
wow, I watched a lot of them, actually.
You know, like our show deals specifically with civil rights and the relevance of medical marijuana, right? Well, Flint Talk Radio is all about civil rights. It's all about standing up for what America is all about, and it's freedom and having the ability to choose. And, that's something that we should have, is the ability to choose. Flaming Pit, Second Amendment... the pure pro wrestling even.
Yep.
All of these shows get into issues about how our government and corporations have stepped in and created regulation which is now prohibiting the evolution of society itself. And we need to step up and stop it. And this show is just a small part of the slice of pie that makes up FlintTalkRadio.com. And John is the reason that all of that exists. So John, thanks for being in the studio today and for recording us without knowing it. You make it happen, bro.
Thank you. I'm just like blushing here. No.
Yeah.
Spinning the wheels of steel.
The wheels of
You'll
steel.
go back to paper white soon. Don't you worry. Okay. So, guys, thanks for joining the show today.
Yeah.
And we got some interesting news to share with you.
It's the first day of spring.
Come on, painkillers. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm really stoked about that.
Herbal medicinals.
What is what?
It's the first day of spring.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's supposed to be freezing cold today.
Yeah, right.
I know. They were supposed to come start digging my pool today.
First day of spring in like Nicaragua. What the frog? Seriously? Yeah. It's 22 degrees outside, bro.
It's cold.
I know.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. If you remember last year, it felt like the first day of summer, March 22nd. And spring had already sprung, you know.
Dude, Michigan weather's messed up.
Well, actually, that's the thing. Is, this is not messed up. This is what Michigan's supposed to be like, folks. You know, back in the old days when, global warming wasn't existent, kind of like today. What? But, think about it. This is what it's supposed to be. The ground's supposed to be froze from, like, October to March.
Froze, though.
The ground is froze, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of, but like...
Why don't you go out and try and dig a hole and let me know how it works out?
I understand that part, but I'm saying, like, where's the snow? Why are we
it is March 20th. It's acceptable to at least not have... But we still have snow on the ground.
I've been disappointed. I'm just saying. Like, if you like snowmobiling, snowboarding,
I agree.
skiing...
I could not agree more that this time of year sucks to play
But
sports.
high five, though, to the great skiing and snowboarding we did get this year, because I know I made a few good trips. I know you got a few good times to some nice places. But still... I miss, like, when I was a little kid, the snow on, like, October and the snow on Thanksgiving. Like, snow all year round. Go out and build the snow forts all winter long.
This year. We had a season.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this winter, we had a real winter, and I'm thankful for it. So, even though it may be first day of spring and there's snow on the ground, I don't care. Let it snow. The warm weather will come soon enough. And you know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping we go from this bitter cold to 70-degree days in about a week.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to have. And, obviously we can always wish for something, right?
Yeah. I'm going to ride my bike to the club then from home one day.
Seriously?
Maybe. Straight down Pearson Road.
You're going to pull an Armstrong?
Yeah.
Are you going to lighten the load like he does? You know what I'm saying?
Are you going to take steroids?
Clip and snip?
I
think it gives him an advantage. He didn't talk about that advantage.
I have been sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber.
Being more aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Yep. It does.
True.
And I think that it probably would work better with the bicycle seat.
Less weight.
It gives you more motion.
Than another man of his stature.
Less friction.
Yep.
If anything.
For sure.
Think about it. Like, often you sit on something where you as a man, you might sit on your little boys.
And that's what I've always felt. A bicycle seat for a man is just simply prepreposterous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's shaped completely wrong. Hello, it's
the splitter.
You're constantly moving and
It's
pushing.
not even the splitter. It's like that shouldn't be called a bicycle seat. It should be called the shocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when you were a kid one time and the seat thing come off a little bit loose and you were going down a bumpy road and you popped up and then just hit the seat just right. You came down and sat on that thing and hallelujah! Woo!
You had to fart to get her back out.
No, you became a new man. You became a man.
I always thought it was weird. The girls' bikes didn't have that. Guys did.
And that's the bar thing. We haven't even got down to the bar yet.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the seat.
Right.
Yeah, why did guys have that bar there? How come girls have like a slanted area and guys don't? Like
it should nonetheless be
Population
shaped
control.
like a public toilet seat where it's like a horseshoe. You know what I mean? Like that would be a sensible bicycle seat for a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're leaning forward, for goodness sake. Where's it supposed to go?
Yep.
All right, let's move on. The show is not about bicycles,
Aerodynamicness.
but we do like to talk about
crushing
things that don't
testing.
make sense, and that's one of them. So-
Exactly. Hey, you gotta do it.
Hey, do we have any events coming up at
We
the
do.
3C?
We do.
Well, lay it on us,
do.
bro.
We
Give us a
have-
quick reminder, if you will.
All right.
Don't
Well,
bore him to death, though.
We did the soup kitchen last Thursday. Thank you, everyone that helped out with
I'm
that.
sorry I wasn't there.
That's all right. You know what I'm saying? You are a little hobbled
Everybody
here.
worked hard because when they come back, they were tired. So
Awesome.
good job,
I'm
guys.
sure they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you guys serve?
We actually served, it was, oh shoot, what did we eat that day? It was, barbecue chicken sandwiches.
Really?
Like pulled barbecue.
That sounds good.
Or not barbecue, but pulled chicken.
Yeah, pulled
barbecue.
chicken.
Yep. Had that when
Yummy.
had some coleslaw. I'll tell you later on about coleslaw. It was pretty good.
I'm not a coleslaw person myself, but I would have some barbecued shredded chicken
We had
sandwiches
some
any day.
amazing applesauce too, where someone was a little overzealous with the cinnamon.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, it was like brown, like straight
Oh,
brown
that's what I like
applesauce,
it,
like
dude.
tons of apple or cinnamon, like
Yeah, straight up.
But this
Hardcore.
Thursday, tomorrow, we're actually gonna be going a little bit early.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, we're gonna be going around noon, 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay. Why?
Because we're gonna actually get there earlier, and instead of preparing the food that they have, we're actually gonna make homemade pizza.
Really? You guys are going to prepare all the food?
Yeah, homemade pizza,
What?
homemade lasagna. Yeah,
That's crazy.
and a pasta salad, all that jazz.
So you
Yep.
guys are kind
Guys.
of deciding the menu. The
Yep.
club is.
Yep.
And the club's going to prepare it. I mean, for those people that haven't been to the soup kitchen before, when we go there, we don't just serve the food. We actually go in, we help prepare the food.
Yep.
We're chopping lettuce. I mean, we're chopping broccoli. You know what I'm saying? And we actually get to input, you know, like I know for myself, I got to jazz up the mac and cheese one day. You know what I'm saying? And so we get to take part, but we don't usually get to decide what the menu is. We certainly don't bring the ingredients.
Yep.
So you guys are actually bringing the ingredients tomorrow. You're
Yep.
going there early. You've decided the menu. You're going to prepare the food completely on your own.
Hand tossed pizzas.
Hand-tossed pizzas,
Hand-tossed.
lasagna,
Yep.
and
Homemade
pasta
lasagna.
salad.
And a pasta salad.
That's what I said.
No, and a pasta. Sorry, I had to tell.
Oh,
the lady,
antipasta.
the lady making the salad too.
Antipasta?
The lady making the salad. She's like,
Not anda.
yeah,
Anti.
antipasta.
Antipasta.
Yeah, like
And
not
pasta.
pasta.
Yeah.
You're having a not pasta minute.
I had this discussion all morning with the lady making the salad. She's like, "It's supposed to have
Anti-pasta.
noodles.
Let's just say it the way our English breeds would say.
Anti.
It's anti-pasta.
Yes.
Anti-pasta.
So there's no pasta. in
No
it.
pasta.
It's
Okay.
anti-pasta, and don't get it confused with a pope. All right, so we got some awesome
I vote
stuff.
Don
You
Vito,
guys are
by
making
the
the
way.
food. That is spectacular.
Dude, you don't believe how excited some of the people were too that came in there. I
Now,
know.
you guys going like you're going hand tossed pizza? Did I hear you say lasagna?
Yeah, lasagna. Homemade lasagna.
Wow.
They have awesome pizza ovens there.
Wow.
Put one of those,
Nice.
are you gonna put checker tablecloths out?
Mic check.
You want to come?
I don't know. If you put out the checker tablecloths, I might come. I might show up.
We don't have checkered, but I can check.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
this-
go to
if you're
Gordon
gonna-
tomorrow.
those old Chianti bottles with the
Chianti.
candlestick, Chianti.
Candlestick.
Dude, they were
the peas.
all I know is
Serving pizza. Come on now. It's
the
weird.
ones that were told about the pizza though, they were
Those
so
olive
excited. They
beans.
were like, "Oh my gosh, pizza!
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
you forgot?"
Authentic.
Probably
Yeah, but
haven't-
like exactly.
You should
That's what
wear
I'm
big
talking about.
mustaches while you're throwing it. And
You guys need hats.
Yeah.
You need the hats, and you gotta like have Italian music playing, dude. You need the download that crap off. You know what I'm saying? Get some Pandora on that jazz,
I will.
and then yeah, throw some flour at each other.
You blast.
Let's see what else can we do.
Viral
Yeah,
video.
everybody
I've seen
just,
a viral video.
just bring dry erase marker, and everybody gets Italian mustaches.
Yes.
Bada boom,
Where's
bada
the
bing.
Sharpies?
And those people who
Dedication.
aren't already endowed, you bring a pillow and you tie it underneath their shirt. So everybody's a big Italian.
Oh, I got you.
And everybody goes, Mamma Mia! Before you say anything.
I poke my head out the window. Dump in the pea bucket.
Always add a vowel onto whatever the word is that you're saying, whatever vowel you choose, and you're in.
Right.
Even if there's already a vowel there, just extend it.
Very nice.
Coca-Cola la la.
Right. You have the Gatorade.
That is fantastic, dude. I'm proud of you guys. I'm
doing work.
insanely
helps out
jealous
with that.
that I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not. I mean, my pizza tossing abilities are limited, but we'll see. Maybe I can make a guest appearance and show up and mop for a minute or two.
Yeah.
Man, that is spectacular.
We have a super staff that comes out and helps out every time.
Right, I know.
Group of
Volunteer
volunteers,
staff.
and they love it.
So I guess you guys already have volunteers that are probably going to be showing up tomorrow to go over to the North End Soup Kitchen. And I suppose you're probably meeting at the club before you go. When and where can people meet if they want to go help out in this pizza extravaganza?
We're going to meet at the club
by
noon.
All right.
You're trying to get there early.
Yep. Or if you can't make it by then, it's North End Soup Kitchen on Stewart Avenue, right at Stewart and Saginaw.
Stewart.
It's,
what time you guys don't start serving food till like, what, 4 o'clock?
But normally 2 o'clock is the time you need to be there. So if you can't make it at noon, try to make it by 2. We can still just show up there. We'll take you. We'll love you guys.
Well, and
coming
honestly,
up and
you
helping out.
guys have going to be been busting your
working the
butts
whole
now
time,
for 2-3 hours. And, you know, if you guys can't make it out there till 3:30, you know what I mean? I mean, we don't want you showing up at 4:30 where we're in the middle of service. You're not going to be much help then. But if you can be there at the very latest by 3:30, we can still plug you in on the line or somewhere in there and utilize you, or just maybe give somebody else a break. Right. Because these guys are going there. You guys are leaving at noon to go over there and to hand toss.
You do have a caller.
Tossing.
Because that
you do have a caller.
Huh?
You do have a caller.
Well, we're in the middle of a pizza conversation.
Is it about pizza, John?
Okay. You want
is it about pizza? It's got to be on subject, John. You got to screen this stuff, bro.
I asked. He said he wanted to ask you a question. So.
Is it about pizza?
Hold on.
Okay, hang on.
We'll just have to ask you.
All right, viewers. We'll see who our caller is, and we love callers, by the way. So we'll probably go ahead and take his call regardless. But we don't get that many calls, quite frankly. Don't hang up on him.
No, don't hang up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here they are. Hold on.
Are you Italian, sir?
Do you like pizza?
Do you ever just make it relevant somehow or shape or form?
Okay,
we'll be
go ahead.
happy.
He's on. I think he's on. So.
All right. Hey, thanks for calling in, caller.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, right.
What up, yo?
Hey, can you hear me now?
We sure can.
Yep.
Can you hear?
All right. Hey, I got a question. It hasn't got anything to do with bicycles or chickens or anything like that. It's got more to do with marijuana laws.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, please.
What I wanted to find out is if we got two guys and we got a bedroom and a grow and a broom room. Can two guys grow into the same rooms where there are 12 each number of plants, or do they have to be separated rooms?
Okay, cool. That is a great question, and it's actually a question that we were discussing. Toby and I were discussing in detail right prior to the show, and that's the funny thing. Sometimes we discuss things, whatever. But thank you for asking that question. I'm going to give a long, drawn-out answer because it does require some detail. So you can hang on the line, and if there's something I say that you're not understanding or isn't clear, please stop me. But what I can tell you is that there is a current court case that's already gone through that does help clarify what the boundaries are in relation to the law and how this scenario plays out. So what you got is you got two caregivers, and they want to know if they can grow together. Let's just say, and for layman's sake, and in reality, that the number of those plants that those caregivers are responsible for is quite irrelevant. So let's say, for example, they both have 12 plants. They want to grow together. In the law's eyes, it's no different than, say, for instance, Toby and I both are stacked with cards, and we each are capable of growing 72. Can we grow those together? That's really not much different than can Chad and I grow 12 together in the same room. Actually, the only difference there is that we'd be over 100 plants, and we'd be subject to further penalty.
Yes.
So that's something you would need to consider. But here's what the court case said. It said that in Michigan, according to Michigan law, that Section 4 of the law does not protect Chad and I from growing our plants together. It did go on to say, the judges clarified in their opinion, that Chad and I do have the ability to enter into each other's rooms, provided that we are both, in fact, caregivers or patients responsible for growing plants. Now, you can have, just so you know, you can have patients that are not responsible for growing plants. They have not designated that responsibility to themselves. They've designated it to someone else, a caregiver. When that occurs, the patient does not have the ability or the legal ability to, at that point, possess plants in any way, shape, or form. They can only possess usable marijuana product or product that is going to be transformed into usable material.
Right.
So, say, for instance, I need to get more plants. I'm a patient, but I've got Toby for my caregiver, and I need to get some plants, but I happen to be at Chad's house and he's got some extra plants. Can I take those to Toby? No, I cannot, because on my patient card it would say authorized to possess plants.
Right.
No. And so if I get pulled over, I'm going to be in trouble. But back to our question here, can two caregivers grow together, or can a patient who can grow with another patient who can grow, or vice versa, or mix it up, whatever you want to do.
Correct.
Judges said no. Section 4, they didn't say no that it can't happen. They said Section 4 says that is not protected, okay? They did not say if Section 8 protects it. They didn't have to figure that out. And they also went on to say that caregivers do have the ability to enter into each other's facilities to assist each other. Or patients, for that matter, also have that ability. So, for example, if I'm in the room with my plants or my patient's plants as a caregiver, I can have my patient come over and help me in my room if I'm there. Mm-hmm. They cannot be there if I'm not there, because then they're in possession of them.
Right.
So, can we grow together? No. Our plants have to be kept separate. So, what is separate? Separate is simply separate facilities. They can be in the same roof, but they still have to be separate entrances. And I cannot be able to enter into Chad's 12 plants, even though maybe my 12 plants can see his 12 plants.
Through a fence.
They better not be able to touch them, and I better not be able to touch Chad's plants unless Chad lets me. You know what I mean?
I'd let you touch my plants.
You would let me touch your plants?
I'd let you touch my plants.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So does that help answer your question? Are you still on the
A
line?
little bit.
Is our caller still with us?
Yes.
Yes, that helped out a lot. Thanks.
Okay.
I've been trying to get that information.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to know if we did answer your question. I know, like I said, it's kind of long and drawn out, but that's essentially what the court case said.
Yeah, I think you answered it just fine, and I really
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Well, cool. Thanks.
Perfect.
But, hey, thanks for calling in.
All right, you're welcome.
Have a great
Question
day.
of the day, apparently.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's why I have had seen some people that are caregivers doing the same scenario, where they will take their normal 2 rooms and they put a wall up or divide it up into separate, complete separate rooms now, and say one guy, if he's got 12 plants, he's the guy that does the veg room, and then the other guy does the 12 plants in bloom, and that's one way I've seen caregivers working it out now where they can stay legal.
Yep.
I mean, all it costs is $200 to get a nice security door with a nice lock on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cheap investment, but that's what they want to see. And to be honest with you, the more security doors, I believe, the better, because might as well make it more difficult for anyone to get in there. That means bad or good.
Well, and I had a conversation with a guy at the club today. He actually walked up and was mentioning a helpful hint, and he said you could use chicken wire. And he's right. Chicken wire is something that I can't pass through. Mm-hmm. I can only get my fingers through it. I can't get my hand through it. Whereas, like, if I use cattle panel and it's got great big things like this, and I can basically stick my head through it, well, fine. But if I can reach my arm through there and touch your plants, that's accessible by law. So if the room's big enough and I can put my arm through it but I can't reach them, it's inaccessible. Mm-hmm. And believe me, when the cops come in and they raid a facility, or if they decide to raid a facility once they've kicked the door in, they're going to look at stuff like that. And if you're, over the top following the law, they're probably going to go, good job, this is the way it should be done, and we're sorry we had to, bother you. If you don't have it clearly marked, and there are questions to be called into question, then you may be opening up Pandora's box. And depending on where you're at and who you're dealing with and what your past is and what things currently look like, it is all possibly downhill from there. Mm-hmm. And that all happens because of the fact that you were trying to shortcut corners or whatever. The nice thing is that the legislature has gone out of their way to try to clarify our law. And by doing so, they've actually done a few things by accident. But one of the things that was kind of intentional was their description of what an outdoor facility is going to look like. Now, you have to read through the lines on that description, folks. You can't just look at it and take it for what it's worth. You should probably end up going to jail or getting your stuff ripped off. Right. So it's not that it's all that clear, but it does give you a foundation for understanding what should keep you out of jail or keep you from getting your place torn down by the police because they don't think you're in compliance. So I would recommend you look at that piece of legislation. It was just passed here. It is House Bill 4853, I believe, or 4851. But it goes through the description of what an outdoor grow facility should look like and is now provided a legal caveat or protection for people who utilize this. And again, if you just follow what that word says, you're probably going to still go to jail because it's not clear. And then you're probably going to piss off your neighbors, and you're probably going to get your stuff ripped off, and then you're probably going to have the cops prosecute you, and it's just going to be a bad day. You're going to need to do a heck of a lot more than what those guidelines say. But it does lay the foundation, again, so you can at least know where to start. And then from there you can design what your facility should, could, would look like. Mm-hmm. And obviously, everybody's limited on their resources. So we can't all have, Fort Knox for a grow facility. It's just not possible. And the costs are prohibitive, and plus, you build something like that, you're likely to get it torn down by the federal government.
Yep.
So you got to really be careful how big and fancy you want to go, but at the same time, you really need to do the proper things to make sure you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm. They're telling you the bare minimum.
You betcha. Yeah, and honestly, if you're growing medication here, don't you want to make it your goal to make sure that you're growing the premium, utmost, highest level of available medication that there is? I mean, we're talking about trying to heal people of sicknesses, so I think it's only right that we try to procure the absolute best product possible.
Mm-hmm. And that's free to grow. So it's got to be worth your time and your patient's time.
Make a proper investment and try to, that way we can have the proper positive outcome,
Very true.
All right. So what were we talking about prior to that? That was a great question, by the way. Thank you for calling in. Like I said, Toby and I were talking about it before the show anyway.
Yep.
We were talking about pizza.
Pizza and soup kitchen?
Yes, we were.
Yes. We do have some more exciting stuff coming up, though, too.
What you got over there?
Food? There you go. Some graham crackers and peanut butter.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. Of course, man.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
What else we got on the list, bro?
We got some more stuff. Let's see. The 29th here, we have our wonderful hash making class. Love this class. It's from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. $40 for members, $70 for non-members. And this class is a two-part class. You get your THC extraction, which is the heat class, which covers different methods of heat extraction, including cooking methods, topical oils, and medicinal uses. Please bring a notebook. THC extraction class, which is the second part. Huh?
Nothing, man. Continue on. You're doing a good job.
Keep going.
The THC extraction class, which is the second part, which is the ice class, which will cover the history of cold extraction from keef sifting to the bubbleator. You get to work with the extraction machines, actually. And it's also, if you do bring 1 to 2 ounces of frozen trim, you will be able to experiment and work on the hash machines, which is awesome. And this class is a prerequisite, so once you take this class, afterwards you will be able to use the hash lab, which is available Tuesday through Saturday. Correct?
Yeah.
Or is it just Tuesdays the hash lab is available right now?
I think Tuesdays.
Tuesday. Sorry, guys. I remember we talked about having more days. That was way back then. Sorry. Memories.
My bad.
All right, but that means there we go.
Okay.
29th, March 29th, Friday.
News on.
Class. News on. Hash making class, like I tell you guys every week, this is the class I took for the first class ever, and I really enjoy this class. It was one of the ones that made an impact on me with my concentrates and bubble hash and stuff like that. Opened up my eyes to the world of higher grade quality medicine. That's all it is. All right, guys. Besides that, though, we do have March 30th, the next day. So we have an awesome class on Friday.
Yes.
And then Saturday, you get to come back to the club.
You get to go back.
You get to hang out with Wicca DJ Short.
DJ Short.
Yes. He's going to have the 1 and 2 set up. He's going to be breaking down some live genetics right there for you.
Breaking them down.
Breaking them down. Wicca, what?
Laying them down.
He's going to come and hang out. He loves hanging out with us guys.
Laying down some live genetics.
He loves the questions that everyone gets to ask. He likes the conversations.
Nice.
He truly loves coming and hang out with all you guys. So this is a great day. If you guys enjoy DJ Short being there, also come and show your respect. Come ask questions. Just come conversate.
Come with your headphones on.
Yes.
Like, what?
I'm listening to DJ Short right now.
There's also a class.
He's talking to me.
I'm talking to you, man. I got your book on tape.
That's
What's up,
right.
dog?
And on top of that, he's teaching the class too, guys. Did you guys remember that?
What?
Exactly.
Yes.
I was wondering when you're going to get to it, bro.
I was getting to it. Well, dude, him hanging out was exciting.
Well, you already
Just
said
as
March
is.
30th, and you
I
guys
know.
passed it, and I was like, what?
You saying he's going to do a class?
Yeah, he's going to do a class at 1 p.m. 1 to 4 p.m. on that Saturday. You get to hang out with him in the a.m., and then you get to go talk to him in his class, listen, learn,
Going
get
to class
educated.
with DJ Short is like going to class with Gandalf.
Or having sex with a
You know what I
unicorn.
mean? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Dude, unicorns
Outside.
are pretty sexy, too. I don't know if you
And
guys
a
have had sex with a
centaur.
unicorn, but oh.
And a centaur.
Just got to watch out for their horns.
Front to back. So
Yep.
front to back.
Tacos for everyone. So please come to DJ Short's class. I mean, he's a world-renowned cannabis breeder. This guy was a legend before legends began. And anyways, he's super cool. And his class is unlike any other. It's not like you sit down and you're dubbed. No, you're in the holy realm of the DJ Short. He's not like that. He's like totally down to earth. He's like, hey, bro, what's up, man? Right. And you get to sit there and ask questions, and he tells you about all his groovy experiences, and he tells you about weed, stuff that like you wanted to know, definitely stuff that like tells you about places he's been to that like you've dreamed of, and it's just a wonderful magical evening with DJ Short
and how things work there.
Yeah,
like when it comes to our industry, he'll like break it down.
He's got inside knowledge that like most of us. We wish he would put into a book, but it'd probably be illegal. You know what I'm saying? So you can spend the night with DJ March 30th at the club. Sign up online. Go down to the club, sign up. Spend a night with a legend. You can do that.
Yes.
Right at DJ Short. And you know what? I found a flyer for an event that DJ Short was doing in California and a few other speakers with it. I think they were charging like $300 to get into this event. Now, like I said, it got a couple other speakers, but DJ was headlining the event.
Well, probably
and how much is that class to go? I think it's like $50 or something.
Yeah,
it's something ridiculous.
$50 for G3C members, $100 for non-members.
So if you're not a member, it's going to be $100. So that's a little bit closer to $300
over in California.
I guess we're just kind of basing for califlation.
You can buy a membership though for $20, get a free T-shirt, and then only pay $50 for the class.
What? Just joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably have to rent some Holiday Inn Conference Center or something. That's where all that overhead comes from.
You know what? We don't have to
donate the place. They probably had to, they probably had to put some diamonds on their fingers.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's not about DJ because he's not that kind of guy either. I mean, you couldn't have a more compassionate fella, and I'm sure he wasn't getting the $300. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Club's charging $50 because we're just trying to keep the lights on, and we're trying to keep DJ have gas in his car and stuff like that. But at any rate, you can spend about 3 hours with this dude, get enlightened, get levitated in your gardening experience, and also have an enjoyable evening kind of hanging out with a star.
DJ
one-on-one sort of thing. And it is awesome.
Buy one of his books. I'm sure he would be glad to sign it.
The Legend of Blueberry. You say blueberry, people are like, DJ Short, what?
Yeah. Like you ever heard of blueberry weed? Yeah, that's the guy that made that.
Yeah, I know that dude.
Yep. Actually, now you can. Now you're sitting around on 420 or a hash bash, or just anywhere, smoking with your buddies. Sitting around talking about your cannabis you just grew for your patients, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? This shit right here, I smoked this shit with DJ Short last week, and they're gonna be like, no way. And you're gonna be like, yeah, like I actually got to show with DJ Short, and he told me some things about how to grow medicine better, and your buddy's gonna be like, what? No way. And they're gonna be jealous, and they're gonna be like, how do I get some?
Just wait till next time, dog.
Yeah,
the next one's gonna be fat.
He does come quite often, though. So I mean, I shouldn't say quite often. More often to our place than anywhere else, though. So to me, it's quite often.
It's because he knows we don't like to jack people.
Yeah,
he's like, dude, I know them people over there are charging $300 are freaking, monkey bending these people over, and I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, he loves the conversations too. He loves you guys at the club. He likes it when he sits down and you guys all come up to him and ask him questions about how he's doing, how things looking around the world in other states. He loves that stuff. I mean, he's like Jamie when it comes to the political part and stuff. He likes to spread the knowledge with people, and it's a pretty cool dude at the same time. So come check him out again. We'll quit talking about DJ Short here, so he don't think I'm like in love with him or something.
Green power.
Woo!
Keep it up. Yep.
Yes. Woo! Is there anything else going on? Like not at club-wise, but like
worldwise.
Worldwise, I can think of.
Brachiosaurus Rex reunion tour this Friday.
Brachiosaurus Rex.
Yeah, the beginning of the world tour.
Wow. Wow.
It's off the Elam Zog and Glass Lung. If anybody knows Brian, it's Glass Lung's Brian's band from the club.
Word up, Brian.
Where are you guys playing at?
Churchill's.
This Friday?
This Friday.
Downtown Flint.
Come on, dude. How come I always find out about this stuff 2 days before?
Downtown Flint, Churchill's.
They always got us on Fridays, too, which is
you guys cool. Call them up on Sunday? You call them up on Sunday, like, hey, you want us to fill in on a Friday? Yeah, man. You guys are great. We love you, man. We always sell extra beer when you guys show up.
Yeah. That'll be a good time. If you like punk music.
Actually, it's probably like their lowest alcohol sales evening compared to normal other bands. And like they just sell a lot of sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's so damn hungry.
They're going to see Brachiosaurus Rex and Glass Lung. I think we're going to need some Cheetos. I'm gonna need a bag of Neckos.
You don't get in unless you smell like weed.
And the band supplies a wheelbarrow of Starburst. It's freaking sweet.
Nice.
Pre-wrapped, pre-unwrapped.
Dude, I'm gonna have to get a wheelbarrow and a bunch
Pre-unwrapped Starburst. What? That's insane.
I might just have to do that. That's an excellent idea.
All right,
It might happen.
guys. What else? What else, bro? Anything serious that we can share with our tuners and listeners?
Yeah, I talked to a few people at the club, and they weren't aware of this because I know some people are new.
Well, fuck.
But if you guys are listening right now, write this off in your schedule. Mark your calendars. Take a note of it. Even if you got to do a little voice memo on your phone, just do it. 420. It's the freaking birthday party. It's the big celebration. I don't know if you've ever been to it yet, but if you haven't, we have carnival-sized tents. We have everything from bull riding one time, dunk tanks, jousting,
cash pit money.
Cash pit. Oh, it's cash pits every time though.
Pie contest.
Pie contest.
Pie throwing contest.
We've had so much stuff.
It's Yosemite Sam was there one year.
Coolest 420 party anywhere. I've never been to a 420 party comparable yet, and I go somewhere every 420.
That's right. Pamela Anderson was there last year,
and the Cowboy.
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam. Yep, that's what it was there. That was pretty fun. This year though, our 420 party's coming up, guys. It is 420. We have
April 20th.
Yep, joint rolling competitions. We have everything down from food taken care of, entertainment, music, body paint, henna. You have massage, I think, this year again, which we have it every year. It's a great thing to have.
Basically, it's just a wonderful celebration. There's education, entertainment,
music, possibly.
It's like having sex with a unicorn again. Right. It's like having sex with two unicorns at once, getting the two-way.
Why does it have to be sex with you?
Yeah.
Because I like unicorns, dude. I have a thing with unicorns.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
I guess it's sex with me and unicorns with you. I don't know.
No.
These like unicorns.
You were saying unicorn, I was hearing sex. I'm sorry.
All right. Parts at all.
April 20th. Please mark it down on your calendars. It is exactly a month away.
But what's different this year?
Yeah.
What's
different? I know every year we shut down the club.
Yeah.
But I don't think we are this year.
Oh, really?
Because we have both sides.
Well, I think we're still defending. We don't shut down the club.
Well, I meant we shut down early every year.
Well, we're still having. You're right. We're gonna have a single shift on that day, just like we've done in the past. So we always have two shifts for the vendors at the club throughout a regular day.
Yep.
And 420, April 20th again, we're gonna only have one shift. It's going to be a little bit longer. It's a 6-hour shift instead of a 4. But there's not going to be two shifts on the day. There's going to be just one.
Yes.
There's no AM and PM. There's just M.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay?
Party.
I am here.
That's right.
Party time.
So, and that shift will be 6 hours. We'll be going from 10 to, what is it, 10 to
4.
10 to 4.
Yep. And then the celebration begins.
420.
Then we stop vending. We put all the vending things away, and we only keep out personal things. And then the celebration begins, and we roll out food, we have an auction, we have a party, basically, a celebration. It's also a time that we celebrate our club's anniversary.
Yep.
And then this year, our club is 4 years old, folks.
Yep.
Oh, ding, ding, ding,
4
ding,
years
ding.
old. We actually turned 4 about 14 days ago. I wasn't here to celebrate with you. I was kind of laid up. But I was at home celebrating with myself, I guess.
Right.
Sitting with right on the couch.
Now, this is... You can bring family. Family and friends are welcome, just not inside the club unless you're a patient.
Yes.
Right.
It's not just for members. The whole entire outside parking lot, which we take over the whole
it's
thing.
It's a mini carnival.
Like you said.
A mini carnival.
Exactly.
I heard there might be a pig roast this year. I know there's been talk about them before, and there's always...
We're going to sacrifice a pig!
But George at Jester's, I know if you guys are around this area, you guys know the great George. George is a wonderful
actual
man.
Animal.
He always supplies food for us, and I'm hoping this year we're actually going to the pig roast because he keeps talking about it.
Nice.
But so we have food, entertainment, fun. So you don't just have to be a member. If you're a local patron around the area, and you hear the fun noise going on, the music, come on by. You can come in the back in the carnival area. You know what I'm saying? We follow the state rules so the people go in the club. But besides that, it's open.
You should come out.
Yeah.
And see for yourself.
Where else can you go?
Stoners.
Our party is saying thank you to everyone that's a member, everyone that's around us.
It is.
I mean, it's a thank you back.
You know what I mean? Yeah. When we do sell tickets, it's like $20 just to cover our costs or something like that. It's ridiculous. But, like once you get in, you're in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like getting in the cash cube is something that you win as being a door prize.
It's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It really is.
Got in a cash cube.
Honestly, dude, I mean, where else could you have gone? You guys that go out to bars and know what I'm talking about, and you've seen the mechanical bulls.
Yeah, dude.
You've gone to the county fairs and you've seen them there. How much did you pay to get on the mechanical bull?
$0.
No. At the carnival and at the bar, how much did you pay?
They're usually like $10, $20.
10, $20 for a ride on the mechanical bull. You know how much you had to pay at our birthday party last year or our 420 party? Zero. Just your ticket admission. So once you're in, you're in. This place is like Disney World, Cedar Point on crack.
Yep.
All right? For patients and caregivers and for all their friends and family to come and enjoy.
Live glass blowing.
That's how we say thank you.
Yep. Live art going on right in front of you. You can watch someone blow glass. That's like watching someone paint. If you never watched someone blow glass, it is an art.
But if you see Snow White at our party, you are over-medicated.
Yeah.
All right?
Let's go outside, get some air.
Yes.
It's all good.
I get Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, man.
We do have new merchandise. We do have new merchandise at the club. We have sweatshirts, hoodies.
Sweatshirts? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the t-shirts.
Rock it out right here. Here we go.
No, forget that. Here,
But
check
you got
this
the shirt
out.
without,
Boom.
This is a shirt that you can be proud of. Shirt that shows your colors, shows who you are, and makes them wonder who you are. Gives them a little, what the hell is G3C? Well, let me tell you, my friend.
I still need to get one of those
These
shirts.
things are awesome, dude.
Your kid could wear that.
I can't wait to get,
I'm
I'm going to take some steroids and I'm going to cut the sleeves off it and be like, no, this is cool. You can go pick your kid up from school in this shirt, go grocery shopping, whatever.
Right.
Support your club.
Yep.
Have your pride. And at the same time, not have to worry about, getting hauled off to jail or child services getting called on your ass or whatever.
Yep.
See, a shirt's a perfect gift for a bodybuilder because if it's too big, they'll be flattered. If it's too small, they'll wear it.
Well, if we ever have any of those people, I think we have one bodybuilder in our club. We'll ask him. We're going to ask him.
Yeah.
We might have him on the show next time and interview him. Be like, dude, how's this working for you?
Right.
How's the G3C apparel working for you?
Right.
That looks really good, though. That really looks good, though.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So,
how much are those, by the way?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're priceless, but for you, we can work something out.
All right. I'll get one of those.
And then for our other members and fans,
I believe the t-shirt's $20.
$20.
You might want to leave a couple out here and put them up on the wall, and then maybe somebody can buy them when they come in here for different shows.
I might want to distribute them to the whole world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got a call here.
All
I'm going
right.
to get one of those.
All right, we're going to take this call, and then afterwards, I've got our top 10 reasons why marijuana laws are messed up.
All right. There's only 10 reasons?
Well, these are actually...
Top 10, okay.
Top 10. Yeah, it's like our top 10.
Top 10.
All right?
Top 10%.
I'm going to take a lead.
All right. You do that, bro.
You got another caller?
More of those crackers out there. Hook a brother up.
You got another caller with another couple calls?
Really? We got another caller?
Yeah, okay.
Dude, we are hot today.
Well, hold on here. I'll switch you over.
Oh, well, let me take the call here before I eat that morsel.
Do that.
Okay.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
All right. Hey, thanks for calling in. This is the Genesee County Compassion Club show. What's on your mind?
Okay, I got just a quick question.
Perfect.
Now, I've heard mixed reviews from people I talked to. Now, what is their classification of 12 plants? Is that anything with a developed root system, or is it even if, say, you just cut a clone and you have it stuck in a cup, but there's no roots? Do they consider that a plant?
This is another good question.
Yeah.
I love this caller.
The long answer question.
This isn't really that long of an answer, though, and unfortunately, because it sucks. The answer sucks. And the problem is that the answer is, what is a plant is open to interpretation. And the reason I can say that confidently is because I've been in a number of different courtrooms and seen where there were different counts placed on different amounts of plant material. And there were different standards used to define what a plant was. And I can tell you that sometimes the police department's standard for how they counted the plant and what they decided constituted what a plant was different than what the state police lab had actually equated. So there was a difference there, even in their own prosecutorial sense.
Right.
That side of the story, they even had different numbers, and of course those numbers didn't. Oh, nice. Those numbers didn't even match up to what the defendant said they had. And then I went in as an expert witness to identify how many plants were actually there, and my numbers were different than all of the other 3 numbers that were currently being used to prosecute the person. So the problem is that what is a plant is open to interpretation based on the person being prosecuted. In reality, what we need to stop and consider is let's keep ourselves out of trouble, and let's just go with what is going to keep us from having to go into that courtroom. And I can tell you what that is that if it looks like a plant, you need to count it. So me personally, I do clone, and I take my cuttings, and when I take a cutting, I count that cutting as a plant.
Me too.
And that is
Same
a
here.
very difficult way. It certainly has made an impact in the way that I garden and my plant count and everything else. But I can tell you that that is what I do because I don't know when that plant is going to pop out roots. I don't know when that cutting is actually going to develop its cotyl or hypercotyl or whatever the next stage is that it develops. And, if I really want to get technical with them and get into a botany sort of an argument, I could argue a lot of different things that I don't know that the prosecution would even be prepared to defend. Because if we get into the genetics and the botany and the horticulture and we look at the science and we start figuring out what is a plant, we could come up with the assertion that really a plant is something that has a root, a stem, and a leaf. And in reality, that is what most of the courts and the state police labs and the prosecution teams are actually kind of going with. But it is not across the board, and deciding what is a root and what is a stem and what is a leaf is also currently still on the table and up for interpretation. And I can tell you that right now we're having arguments across the state in active court cases where we are arguing about what is usable and what isn't. And I can tell you that the prosecutions that I've seen, their argument they're presenting and saying that here, this material that we're saying is over the limit is usable. That material, if you and I were to view that, or if 99% of the patients out there were to view that material, would unquestionably state, without having to do any further observation, that that is certainly not usable material. We're talking about stuff that is just basically a plant that was cut off at the stalk and has now been stuck in a plastic bag for a year and a half in an evidence room, and it was weighed when it was cut down, and that's the weight they're being charged with, and they're trying to say the whole amount of that weight is usable. So it is extremely far out of proportion to what in reality it should be. We know that as patients and caregivers, but that's not what the prosecution is currently on par with. They're in a whole different world, and their world, the ones who are participating in it, have an objective, and that is to shut this down. Mm-hmm. So they are going to propose the opposite preposterous end of the argument so that somehow when we get to the middle of the argument, they can get a little bit more of what it is that they want, rather than just rolling down and saying, hey, yeah, you know what? Clones aren't plants. They're not plants until they're actually propagated, right. And then they're not even considered a plant by science until that plant rooting has not only rooted, but then been propagated, completed its propagation stage into its growing medium. So what that would mean is I have a clone and a cloner, I take it out, and I put it in dirt. Well, once it starts to actually show growth inside of that transplant, after I've transplanted it, now it'd be a plant.
Right.
Or if I've got a plant cutting and it's developed inside of a rapid rooter, when it pops the roots out of the plug, I'm going to pull it out of its dome or whatever it's in, and I'm going to put it into dirt or rock wool or cocoa, and then once I've transplanted it, probably within 2 to 5 days, I should expect to see growth. When I see that, now I know that the roots underneath have also done the same thing without digging it up. Mm-hmm. When that happens, I know that that technically, legally, is when it should be considered a plant.
Right.
But the argument is so far out of whack right now in the courtroom that to say that that's what it should be, I'm the one that's looking like I'm an extremist. When in reality, that is what it should be.
Of course.
Okay, but they're trying to say right now that if I cut off a piece of stem and I stick it in a sponge, now I've got 2 plants. When in reality, that cutting isn't anything more than a cutting off from that plant. And it's going to take a heck of a lot of work, time, and luck,
there's no
and
guarantee.
knowledge and care to make it become a plant. Just like a seed is not yet a plant. It's still a seed.
There's no guarantee at that point. If you just cut it
That's
off,
right.
it's going to survive.
And just like when a seed sprouts, it first sprouts a cotyl, and then develops a hypercotyl on top of that, and then from there we have our first set of pre-leaf, and then from there it develops its first set of real leaves. So botany would tell you that that is not technically a plant until that process has been completed. So if I've got a sprout of a seed, that's not a plant. If I've got a seed that's sprouted and now it's sticking up and the seed's still stuck to the pre-leaf, that's not a plant. If it's popped up and the seed pod's fallen off and now those little pre-leaves are getting a little bit bigger and they almost look like a real leaf, but there's nothing else there, that's still not a plant. I need to wait until the hypercotyl shoots up in the middle between those two into the next set of leaves because that's the plant's first set of real leaves.
Right.
Now, if I want to get technically crazy about this, I'll go back to their definition and say, hey, did you realize that a cutting doesn't even have a hypercotyl? It only has cotyls, because of the fact that those hypercotyls are the pre-leaves and they only develop on top of a seed germination, and you don't ever get that when you take a cutting off from a mature plant, because it only occurs during that beginning stage. So therefore, any cutting that I ever take and propagate is not a plant. It's a cutting of its parent plant. Even when it becomes its own existing matter, separate from its parent, it is still a donor of the parent, and therefore, legally, technically, I could say that that's not a plant because it doesn't possess a hypercotyl. And their legal definition says it has to have a root, a cotyl, and a hypercotyl.
Right.
Well, guess what? Every single clone you have growing right now does not have a hypercotyl on it, and their legal definition says it needs to have that. That's what their police state lab says it needs to possess. But yet, they don't want to get technical with us because I'll ruin them.
Right, of course.
So you need to just watch your P's and Q's. Everybody else, that's what I tell them to. Don't play with fire. If you were planning on that thing being a plant, it's a plant. And I know doggone well that when seeds pop up, you still got a 50-50 chance, even after it's popped up out of its medium, that it's still going to puke on you. And you've got, even after it grows, it's got a 50-50 chance it's not going to be any good. And then you got another 50-50 chance that it's going to be male or female. And so by right, you've got about a 10% chance out of a germinated seed that it's even going to be worthwhile to then go through and start selecting to figure out whether or not that one is going to be the one you actually want to grow, because that particular breed is what you're looking for. And we know how this works, but they don't give a care.
Right.
So we got to do what they want us to do, but try to work within it. And I've had to modify my garden to make sure that I don't go over my numbers and actually purposely stay underneath so that they can't do anything to me. But I'm telling you, you can do the same thing too. Because we have techniques like perpetual gardening, we have things like scrog, FIM, hydroponics, indoor lighting, we have nutrients, biostimulants, things that we can utilize that will further fasten and improve our grows to compensate for the fact that we are so limited by a plant count law. And when we're trying to produce usable medication and also have an uninterrupted supply of medication to patients, we really shouldn't have a plant count. And in reality, if you look at Section 8 of the law, there is no plant count. Our job as a caregiver is to provide an uninterrupted supply of medication to our patients, and if that means that I need to grow 64 plants for one patient, then I legally have the right to do so. I just don't want to go test it in court. Right. And I'd recommend you don't either. So that's my long answer.
I told you it was going to be long.
Sorry! Are you still with us, caller, or did I put you to sleep?
Well, that was a very in-depth answer, and I appreciate it.
All right. I got to eat a cookie now.
What you got over there, Sam?
Have a good day, guys. Thank you,
brother. Thanks for the call again.
Yeah, that's a good question.
These are good too? All right.
A lot of good information in those past two calls, really. I mean, besides stuff you give out ordinarily, I mean, those are two really thorough question answering, I think. So.
It helps when people call in with questions so we know what they're wanting to know about.
Right.
It definitely helps. If you're out there watching right now and you have a question, call.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times,
ask, we don't know.
That's just it. Is like we might have taken time to have to go through a situation. You, me, Toby. We've come across things working at the club, being caregivers now for 4 years, that a lot of people are still dealing with because we deal with it every day. We don't realize how much info we gain daily, and so we think those questions have been answered, and we forget that they haven't, or that they need to be asked again.
Oh, it's surprising to run into the guy on the street that thinks he knows what's going on.
Right. And he doesn't have a clue.
Like literally.
Yeah.
Mars.
It's very true, though. Like I said, I had people today that didn't even realize we had a
unfortunately,
party.
keeping up on this is a full-time job.
Yeah, because they keep changing stuff.
And the sad part about it is that being a caregiver is a full-time job in itself. You get a lot of people that are still trying to work a full-time job, be a caregiver, and then you expect them to keep up on this kind of a legal matter. That's too much to ask.
Yep. Oh, that's why it's set like that, I'm sure.
That's why people tune in.
Complicated.
It's the same thing, honestly. The more I look into it, and coming from finance world, this whole thing here in the medical world is just a small sliver of how everything works.
Yep.
Right? We complicate things to keep you out of it.
Yep.
It's not that you can't participate. It's just going to be so damn complicated that you probably won't have the tenacity to figure it out and maneuver through.
Yep, or the
But
funds.
if you do, you can. And that's the thing, is that you have to be courteous to the people around you. You can't be deviant. But at the same time, you need to be able to be educated enough to move forward in what it is that you want to try to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's go to our top 10 here, folks.
Yes.
It's kind of like David Letterman's top 10. Yeah. All right, so this is top 10 reasons that the government wished it had. I'm sorry. Bleh. Top 10 cannabis studies the government wished it had never funded.
Yes.
All right. This is on our Facebook page. You can
What's
look
on
it up,
Facebook?
read it for
Yes.
yourself. If you get a chance to, go to our Facebook page at Genesee Compassion and check this out. Share it on your Facebook, whatever. These are top 10 cannabis studies that the government wished it had never funded.
Can't wait.
All right, so number 10. First study. Marijuana use has no effect on mortality.
I'm immortal.
Federal laws and them kicking the door might have more room.
You smoke weed, you're immortal?
Look at me. Nobody knows how old I am.
I did not know that, dude.
Yeah?
Maybe it's like I shouldn't smoke it now. It's kind of wrong. I feel like a vampire. All right, so number 9. And then, believe it or not, there was a study done in 1997. And they came up and figured out that marijuana does not affect mortality, cause no significant increase in mortality. And tobacco use is what was associated with the increase of death.
Right.
All right, number 9. Heavy marijuana use as a young adult won't ruin your life.
What?
Sweet. My life's not over.
So everyone's been lying to me. Oh.
I love that skit with Bob Saget and the drug rehab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, I got sent here for weed. I'm a weed addict.
Marijuana's not a drug.
Yeah. You ever suck beet for marijuana?
All right, next one. Number 8. The gateway effect may be a mirage.
Ooh.
So are they saying that marijuana might not be a gateway drug?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I think it's turkey.
I think alcohol is the true gateway drug.
Turkey's a gateway
I
drug.
think tryptophan is the first thing that alters your state of mind
Yep.
as a child. Yep.
I'm just going
And then
straight
alcohol.
up. I'm going with mother's milk.
Yeah.
That is the first poison,
All right.
you know?
Yep. Open your eyes.
For me, it was spinning around until I fell down and felt like I was going to puke.
There you go.
That was a mind-altering, experience.
That was your
That's
gateway.
Yeah,
It's like getting-
that's all I ever done
You
in my life.
spiraled down. That's awesome.
But
right,
alcohol here and there, but that's it.
Number 7. This is, again, these are top 10 reasons or top 10 studies that the government wished they'd never fund. Number 7. Prohibition doesn't work.
Whoa.
Part
really?
1. Again, this is number 7. Prohibition doesn't work. Part 1. U.S. National Academy Press, National Research Council, informing America's policy on illegal drugs. We don't know what keeps hurting us. That was the name of the study. We don't know what keeps hurting us. Funded in 2001, 193 pages. Came up with the synopsis that prohibition isn't really working very well when it comes to drug policies. All right, number 6, moving on.
Fancy.
Prohibition doesn't work. Number 6. It's the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry. This is part 2. They did another study apparently in 2004. The first one in
The
01.
first one.
It wasn't long enough. It's not that they didn't believe it. It's just that it wasn't long enough. The next study here was instead of 193 pages, it was 842.
Wow.
All right. It had volumes, 94 of them.
Whoa.
And it was performed by the Limited Relevance of Drug Policy, Cannabis in Amsterdam and San Francisco, American Journal of Public Health, performed by a whole slew of doctors and people who get paid a shit ton of money to tell you bullshit. All right, number 6, prohibition does not work, part 2. This is the second one. Here, and this is what they came up with. Lifetime use of hard drugs was significantly lower in Amsterdam with its tolerant marijuana policies.
True.
For example, this is according to their studies, mind you, lifetime crack cocaine use was 4.5 times higher in San Francisco than Amsterdam. Go figure. And guess where it's legal to smoke crack cocaine? Not just legal to smoke it, but you can get it. Like packaged, like freaking Hubba Bubba.
Nice. Mushrooms I hear too. Invented
Dude,
machines.
there is nothing that you cannot have.
Right.
There is no such thing as prohibition. There's a new thing. It's an old thing, but we could consider it new. It's called responsibility.
Yep.
Hello? Self-preservation.
Are we supposed to be responsible for ourselves, though?
Well, in theory.
I didn't know.
In theory.
Maybe
All right,
That's why we have loved ones around us.
That's
Keep us
why
in
we're
check.
supposed to get jobs and go to school and be on our own.
You can't be responsible. You smoke weed. Whatever.
There was a test that showed it wouldn't ruin my life.
Well, yeah, but that's probably why you're not responsible. And
Well,
your
how
life
do I
isn't
live my
really-
life,
It
though?
goes hand in hand. You're just wandering through life, stoned out of your mind constantly with no responsibilities. Of
None.
course, you're happy.
Yeah, you can't just walk around and say, "It's
All right, number 5. Moving on here, folks. Sorry, I guess 6 and 7 is clearly prohibition doesn't work. They really figured that out and really or clearly,
Again.
enforcing still prohibitive practices, no less. Even after they've had numerous studies here, and I'm sure there's plenty more. But these are again the studies that the government wished they never sponsored. So number 5. Oops, marijuana may prevent cancer. Oh,
What?
May?
oh,
Only
that's-
in the month of May?
And and it gets you again. This is a list of studies that the government wished they never funded. So you're telling me they wish they never funded a study that might have found out that a substance might have prevented cancer?
Well, don't they tell us that cancer,
Wouldn't the government want to find out something that prevents cancer?
You'd think.
population control?
Well, if they found out something that prevented cancer, why wouldn't the government want to put that out there in the public?
Maybe because they don't
I
want us
don't
to
know.
live.
Oh, I seen a thing on the TV, on the
Dude, come on, the government doesn't want to kill us.
Population control, though.
Oh, that's a bunch of baloney. Agenda 21, whatever.
Hey.
Come on.
Well, they said
And
they
think of it
got-
this way: if people live longer, you need health care for longer, and they're going to do government health care. I mean, you live longer, you cost more money,
Mm-hmm. Pay more people than longer.
and we want you to die fast, not die slowly.
No. By fluid, no.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, that's right. The insurance.
Or
Or-
guinea pigs, man.
Or you healthy, we make you sick and die slowly and make more
They
money.
would do that. Fast food. That's why I have a
Prescription
diabetic-
medication.
Well, that too. That's why I have such an epidemic of diabetes.
All right,
Diabetes.
sorry, back to number 4. Oops, marijuana may prevent
Diabetes.
cancer. 1994 study, government tried to suppress. Federal researchers gave mice and rats massive doses of THC, Simpson oil, concentrate, looking for cancers of other signs of toxicity. So they're trying to give them cancer by giving them massive doses of THC.
Doesn't work.
Rodents given THC lived longer and had fewer cancers than the other rats that didn't get the THC. In a dose-dependent manner, i.e. the more THC they got, the fewer tumors the mice had. This is a technical report on the toxicology and carcinogenesis studies of 1-trans-delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, and then it goes on to the other stuff, blah, 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 blah.
Makes sense.
Huge.
There you go. You betcha, it's huge. All right, number 3. I'm sorry, that was number 5. Number 4, same thing, actually. Number 5, here's another study. This is 1975 at the Antineoplastic Activity of Cannabinoids Journal of the National Cancer Institute, September of 1975. 597-page report. Federal researchers implanted several types of cancer, including leukemia and lung cancer, in mice, then treated them with cannabinoids, unique active compounds found in marijuana. THC and other cannabinoids shrank tumors and increased the mice's lifespans.
Hey.
That was done
Mises?
by the Antineoplastic Activity of Cannabinoids Journal of the National Cancer Institute in 1975.
I was 1 month old.
And they knew
I've
that.
known this
Yeah.
since I was 1 month old.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
Alright.
gangsta.
Number 3. Oops. Marijuana may prevent cancer. Top 10 studies government wish they never funded.
Oh,
So we got, this is 3 reasons in a row that, marijuana might prevent cancer.
Yeah.
We have 2 studies already that show that it might have something to do here. Study number 3, 1997, 728-page report. Researchers at the Kaiser Permanente HMO, funded by NIDA, which is the government marijuana infamous program. Now, NIDA doesn't just handle the marijuana program. NIDA handles all of the types of requests for medical research. So let's say, for instance, Harvard University wants to sponsor a new program, or U of M wants to. NIDA is the body that's going to issue them the grant money to sponsor that research program. They're the ones that are going to say that's approved.
Gotcha. Worth it.
Okay.
The money.
So, researchers at the Kaiser Permanente HMO, funded by the NIDA, followed 65 patients for nearly a decade. Followed. I get too much peanut butter on my tongue. 65,000 patients for nearly a decade, comparing cancer rates among non-smokers, tobacco smokers, and marijuana smokers. Tobacco smokers have massively higher rates of lung cancer and other cancers. Marijuana smokers who didn't also use tobacco had no increase in risk of tobacco-related cancers or of cancer risk overall. In fact, their rates of lung and most other cancers were slightly lower than non-smokers, though the difference did not reach statistical significance. This was
marijuana smoker.
Marijuana use
technically healthier than the non-smoker.
Yeah, less. Well, not necessarily healthier. Okay, we have to consider their smoking. Lung health, cardiovascular, whatever. What I'm talking about here is the fact that people who use cannabis have a less chance of having cancer.
Of course.
That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Can this guy run up a flight of stairs and not be out of breath compared to the guy who doesn't smoke at all? Well, yeah, probably. But what if I gave that guy his cannabinoids in a form that he wasn't smoking, and now I can make sure he can still run up the stairs. In fact, he thinks he's flying up the stairs. And he doesn't have cancer, and the guy who's running up the stairs does have cancer because he's sucking down your supplements. All right?
Word.
Okay, number 2. Again, here we go. Marijuana may prevent cancer. Sorry, but this is just, they're running it in the ground, I know. But I think there's something to this, folks.
Yeah.
Donald Tashkin, a UCLA researcher whose work is funded by NIDA, did a case control study comparing 1,200 patients with lung, head, and neck cancers to a matched group with no cancer. Even the heaviest marijuana smokers had no increased risk of cancer and had somewhat lower cancer risk than the non-smokers. Tobacco smokers had a 20-fold increased lung cancer risk. That was done in May of 2006. And yet, here we are.
Black and white.
Yep. All right, and the number one reason, the number one report that the government wished they never funded, here we are, folks. Number 1, marijuana does have medical value.
Yay!
Yay! This was actually done by the National Academy Press in 1999 to the tune of 159 pages. FDA, titled FDA Dismisses Medical Benefit from Marijuana. It was republished in the New York Times April 21st, 2006. It is now 2013, folks. All right, so let's go through this quickly. In response to passage of California's medical marijuana law, the White House had the Institute of Medicine review the data on marijuana's medical benefits and risk. The IOM, Institute of Medicine, concluded nausea, appetite loss, pain, and anxiety are all afflictions of wasting and all can be mitigated by marijuana. While noting potential risk of smoking, the report acknowledged there is no clear alternative for people suffering from chronic conditions that may or might be relieved by smoking marijuana, such as pain or AIDS wasting. The government's refusal to acknowledge this finding caused co-author John to tell the New York Times that the government loves to ignore our report. They would wish that it would rather never happen.
Yeah.
And again, that is a report from the Institute of Medicine that was called to do that by the White House because of the passage of California's medical marijuana law. And again, this was conducted and construed in 1998, which would have been 2 years after California passed its law. They knew they had a problem. They knew that there was an issue here of state supremacy law. They knew they had citizens that are somewhat legal and still illegal. And they said, what are we going to do? Let's evaluate if we can declassify marijuana from being a Schedule I drug so that we don't have to pursue them anymore as a federal criminal. And what your government has decided is that that's not in your best interest. That it's not okay, they shouldn't do that. And then they continue to ignore reports from doctors. And this is just one of them, folks. Right. There's reports from the Nurses Association. There's reports from the American Medical Association. And there's reports like this from the Institute of Medicine. These are governing bodies of our modern-day society's medicinal practitioners. You know what I mean? Physicians, doctors, pharmaceutical companies, the bodies that say what should and shouldn't happen have already stepped up and said, marijuana is helpful for people. Marijuana is medicinal. And yet our government continues to ignore it and to continue to prosecute people for having a difference of opinion with what they have is a lie. So I'm sorry that we don't agree with that lie, but we're not going to agree with it. And we're going to continue to help people out. That's what this show's about. That's what this club's about.
Oh, yeah.
So rock it out, man.
Woo!
We out.
Thanks for joining us, people.
I got crackers, y'all.
Yes.
Crackers.
See you guys tomorrow, Soup Kitchen. Peace. Crackers.